Disclaimer! This is a parody video meant for comedic purposes only. Do not take this video literally. Do not interact with Cyrax in any way, shape, or form. Lolcows. Look, do not touch. Welcome to the Laugh Bovine Boss Guide, Part 1. I am your host, Tyrone Durden, he of insane behavior. In this wonderful guide, I will go over strategies and tactics for hunting the legendary creatures known as Laugh Bovine, as well as some of their backstory and what goodies you may obtain. It is not advised to pursue these beings, but should you do so, hopefully this guide will keep you from getting a free teleport to Lumbridge. Be warned, it is often not what these monsters will physically do to you that's all that terrifying. It's what they do to your mind and soul. First up, the festering attic goblin of the Akron swamplands, Cyrax. While this fungal entity may not look very intimidating due to his emaciated stature, this is often seen as a beginner's trap. This boss encounter offers a fair means for newer players of Laugh Bovine IRL to come to understand the mechanics, such as dealing with multiple enemies, status effects, and cues and tells. Despite this, do not take this imp-like being or its inbred kin lightly. Legends tell that Cyrax was born from a dead mother, kind of like Guts in Berserk. Except Cyrax was born an apostle, giving his mother's life in exchange for his own to the demonic entities that make the rules of this world. Unlike most of his ilk, he looked just human enough to elicit sympathy from people throughout the lands of the Akron realm. He would often beg, plead, and play the victim for heinous acts he committed, somehow always skirting away from consequences for his actions. Since his self-imposed malignancy on the realm of Akron, it has been told of many a child being lured away to the hills with eyes, in which he resides. Quite often he can also be spotted at a distance in a derelict automobile, creating a cacophony it seems to call music, screeching obnoxiously into the ether about becoming some kind of wicked shaman called a Juggalo Drift King. Many years ago, the goblin and its few grotesque kin terrorized the lands of Akron, stealing medications, shoving styluses into orifices they didn't belong, molesticating blind boys, and just all around being a general nuisance. Then one day, a piper came into town. One musical business Bartholomew. This holly jolly giant had many epic battles with the goblin and its tribe, pushing them back time and time again into the Ide Hills. Sadly, one terrible but ordained day, the goblin managed to persuade a harlot most foul to taint his merry Chihuahua with Fent. Ever since the day of Bartholomew's passing, the inbred imps of the Ide Hills have run rampant across the lands of Akron. Any encounter with this tribe often starts as a solo boss fight with Cyrax himself. While his raw stats are nothing impressive, he has many dangerous abilities to contend with that become far deadlier later on in Phase 2. Cyrax himself has an overt weakness to intellectual stimulation, can be easily intimidated by larger physical builds, and can easily be baited by women, children, midgets, or furries feigning interest in him. Being a festering mass of bedbugs and scabs, Cyrax's weak point will shift quite often. You can easily identify where it currently is if he makes this sound when you strike him. He is quite susceptible to all elemental attacks, with the exception of disease and poison. It is documented from his Bartholomew encounters that he is exceptionally vulnerable to physical attacks. He can easily fall for destruction-rigged video game consoles as well. The first ability in Cyrax's arsenal is Scab Fling. This is a projectile attack with low base damage. What it lacks in base damage, it makes up for in its vile debuff, Rotting. When inflicted with Rotting, you will feel your skin crawl, and you will begin to fall ill, taking debuffs to your constitution and sanity, while also taking HP damage over time. Having the consumable hand sanitizer or body soap on hand is recommended to quickly remove this curse, as it can last up to weeks otherwise. The rotting affliction can jump from party member to party member, so keep your distance if you become diseased. When he goes to activate this ability, he will violently scratch at his head and then begin throwing numerous scabs. The second of Cyrax's main abilities is Hypersonic Shriek. With this ability, Cyrax inflicts medium sound-based damage to all in a 30-yard radius who do not have proper ear protection. This has a secondary effect, regardless of protection, of demoralizing all around, filling them with the sense of disgust and pity towards the creature. This can cause temporary immobilization and even desertion, so it is advised to strike your teammates befallen by this debuff to get their head back in the game. Cyrax will sometimes unleash this attack without warning, but oftentimes he will begin to shout Marty in a deepened voice before unleashing it. The third and final non-super ability of this cretinous asswipe is Stylus Injection. This move has two variations, a melee version and a ranged version. Regardless of variation, if it is not dodged, this attack will cause minor physical damage, but also leave the target inflicted with a lethal fecal toxin. If this is not cured by antiviral injection consumables, you likely will not live to see the end of the fight. This is a flesh-eating virus that will quickly consume you regardless of how many health potions you may have on hand. Cure this immediately. Always. Thankfully, it is very easy to dodge this attack, as the wretched demon will shove a stylus up his rear end and proceed to dig around for 5 seconds before preforming the attack. Cyrax does possess an ultimate ability, and it is his only one that makes him much of a threat on his own against a well-prepared group. Cyrax, for some odd reason, is one of the few laugh bovine to possess a unique stando magic. This magic is called Dead Gay Bill. When Cyrax is nearing his limit in Phase 1 and 2, he will summon from the ether the fighting spirit of his deceased brother, Dead Gay Bill,